What's up, guys, and welcome to the Wrestling for Life Network, and welcome to another edition of the TNA Impact review. We will be going over the June 6th edition of TNA Impact. We have a lot to unpack, we have a lot to talk about, a lot went down, so let's get right into it. Again, welcome to the Wrestling for Life Network, and welcome to another edition of the TNA Impact Review. This week, we celebrated the 20th anniversary of the flagship show Impact. We had some great matches. We had some great storyline movement as we head into Against All Odds. I'm super excited for the next week of Impact Television. We have another edition, and then we get Against All Odds, which I think is going to be very special for all of the TNA fans and maybe very, very special for all of pro wrestling in general. So I believe you should be seated for Against All Odds because we might have some people from WWE coming over to TNA. We got Jordynne Grace defending her TNA Knockouts World Championship in an open challenge. So a lot may be going down at Against All Odds. This week's episode of TNA Impact kicked off with Khan versus Jake something, and this was big, meaty men slapping meat. But this was a solid match to open up this week's episode of TNA Impact. Nothing special really happened here. It was kind of slow. It was hard hitting a little bit between Khan and Jake something. But again, it was nothing really special. Jake something did pick up the win. After the match, Khan did attack Jake something, but while he was being attacked, Eric Young came out. He saved Jake something, and then Eric Young gave a quick little speech about the 20th anniversary of TNA Impact. But like I said, nothing special here, but it was a solid match between Jake something and Khan. We immediately head to a backstage segment, and it's with Frankie Kazarian and the system. And basically, Kazarian said he is going to eliminate the Nick Nemeth problem. But when he eliminates the Nick Nemeth problem, he wants a shot at the TNA World Championship. Moose said if he can do that exact thing, he will grant him that opportunity for the TNA World Championship. So, can Frankie Kazarian beat Nick Nemeth tonight in the main event of TNA Impact? Keep watching because we'll eventually get there. Is PCO in love with Steph DeLander? That's what it seems like. PCO is definitely in love with Steph DeLander. So he wants to know how Steph DeLander feels about him. In the coming weeks, I believe we will find out, but I really like this storyline. I really like this storyline with PCO and Steph DeLander, and I can't wait to see how it plays out over the next couple of weeks. We head into our second match of the night. It is a returning Giselle Shaw versus Shasha McKenzie. And this was the welcome back moment for Giselle Shaw. She came out with a new theme, which is actually banger. She is no longer called the quintessential diva. She is the quintessential knockout. So I'm excited about that. And y'all, she ran this match. She ran this match real quick, ran it down, beat McKenzie. It was fun to see Giselle Shaw in a new attitude. I feel like what she has been doing over the past couple of weeks with these video packages with Gail Kim has been perfect. This was Giselle Shaw's returning moment. I think she crushed it. I'm not sure if she's the one to potentially dethrone Jordynne Grace in the near future, but you got to keep Giselle Shaw on the on your mind because she could be that one. She could be that one to take that TNA Knockouts World Championship. What are we doing with Rosemary? What are we doing with Rosemary? Because this is interesting. So we had a video package of Rosemary. I can't even tell you or decipher what that video package was. She was talking. It seems like she was talking in parables. I don't know, but whatever we're doing with Rosemary, I need to see more of it. This has been going on for a couple of weeks now, and like I really want to see more of what they're doing with Rosemary. Not only that, but TNA's production has been killing with these video packages, not just for Rosemary, but for Giselle Shaw, Mike Santana, Jonathan Gresham, just to name a few. They've been running these video packages for them over the past couple of months, and they have been firing on every cylinder. So whatever they're doing with Rosemary, y'all need to be glued because I feel like it's going to be special. Y'all, I am getting my wish. Mike Santana and Steve, y'all, I am getting my wish. Mike Santana and Steve Macklin will be teaming up at Against All Odds. Steve Macklin basically was the one to kick this off, and he was like, I know we don't see eye to eye, Mike Santana, but we have a problem with the Rascals, and we have to take care of it. Mike Santana said, that is behind me. Tag team wrestling is behind me. I am here for a solo run and focusing on myself. And Macklin said, I understand that, but we still have this Rascals problem, and this is going to be a one-time deal. So we need this. We really need to make this happen. Mike Santana agreed. So this is happening at Against All Odds. It'll be Mike Santana and Steve Macklin versus the Rascals. And I am super excited for this match. I am super excited for Macklin and Santana to team up. Can't wait to see what they do together. And are they going to be able to work together? That is the big question. We will find out at Against All Odds. Speedball Mountain takes on Champagne Singh and Mustafa Ali. And what a tag team match we witnessed this past week. Champagne Singh really surprised me throughout this match, and he took control of this match a lot. But this was a huge back and forth match between these two. I think tag team wrestling in TNA is really good. Now, the tag team division as a whole, it might be lacking some tag teams, but tag team wrestling is on a different level in TNA, and I feel like they prove it each and every week. Each and every week, they prove that tag team wrestling is still around. We just got to get more tag teams in that division to build that division up just a bit more. But a solid tag team match. Mustafa Ali and Champagne Singh worked well together. Obviously, Speedball Mountain, Trent Seven, and Mike Bailey, they're going to work together as well because they are a tag team and they did work together very well. But man, if I could go back and watch this tag team match, I will, because I'm eventually go back and watch this tag team match. But this was super, super good. It was won by Speedball Mountain. Trent Seven got the pinfall, made a statement in the face of Mustafa Ali. So at Against All Odds, we have to remember that Mustafa Ali is defending the X Division Championship against Trent Seven. So can Trent Seven pick up the victory at Against All Odds and become the X Division champion? I don't know, but do I really want to see that? Do I really want to see Mustafa Ali drop the title? Is it the right time? A lot of questions going into this match, but I know Mustafa Ali and Trent Seven are going to put on a banger match at Against All Odds. The TNA Knockouts World Championship was defended on this episode. Jordan Grace defending against Allison Kay. And before the match started, you know who had to come out? Ash by Elegance. And Ash by Elegance came out, and she is going to sit ringside for this match as she has for a lot of the previous Knockouts World Championship matches. She sits at ringside. Good to see Ash by Elegance back after having emergency dental surgery when Zaya Brookside basically knocked her out. So, yeah, she is back. Ash by Elegance is back. And this is another person that I think could potentially take the TNA Knockouts World Championship away from Jordan Grace. This was a fun match between Jordan Grace and Allison Kay. You got Allison Kay showing what she can do in that ring. You got Jordan Grace showing her dominance in the Knockouts division again. There was no doubt that Jordan Grace was not winning this match. She won this match fair and square, continuing to show that she is the top knockout in TNA, and she has some big matches, or a big match basically ahead of her, where she challenges Roxanne Perez to the NXT Women's Championship at NXT Battleground. We had a hype video for that, as she said she is going to walk out of Battleground double champ. So that makes her the first interpromotional champ, I guess, for WWE. She will be the TNA Knockouts World Champion and the NXT Women's Champion. I want the world for Jordynne Grace. She is probably the biggest star in professional wrestling right now. She has a lot on her shoulders, and I know Jordynne Grace can do this. I know Jordynne Grace can represent TNA in a good light, and she's been doing it. The Royal Rumble, NXT, and now she has NXT Battleground, and then at Against All Odds, she has the open challenge for her title. Keep an eye on Jordynne Grace, because she's reached the sky. She's about to reach space at this point, because she has the whole professional wrestling world in the palm of her hand. We continue to roll on with TNA Impact. We have the Digital Media Championship match, Laredo Kid versus AJ Francis, David versus Goliath. Nothing really special came out of this match. It was a solid match on both ends. I think we all expected AJ Francis to win and become the Digital Media Champion, and he did. He is now holding gold in TNA Wrestling. I don't know how this plays out, where this goes, but I'm excited for AJ Francis. I'm excited for him holding gold. So over the next couple of weeks, we'll see how this plays out. But my question is towards one of the former Digital Media champions. Where is Crazy Steve? Please, somebody tell me where Crazy Steve at. I feel like it is time for him to return to TNA. The trend of folks being sick from this black ink continues, because Sami Callihan was exposed last week on TNA Impact to the black ink by Jonathan Gresham. Sami Callihan now has his own little talk show during TNA Impact, and he has explained that he has been feeling sick since he's been exposed, but he doesn't care. He wants to get to the bottom of what is going on with Jonathan Gresham. Is a man trying to portray to be an octopus, or is it an octopus betraying a man? That is what Sami Callihan is trying to find out. Like I said, this whole Jonathan Gresham thing is really fun to watch. So over the next couple of weeks, as I've been saying, every episode of the TNA Impact review, keep your eye on Jonathan Gresham and what they're doing with this dark character that he has. I'm excited for it. So continue to be glued to your seats with this Jonathan Gresham storyline. All right, y'all, we are approaching the end of TNA Impact. We are right at the main event, but we do have some matches going down next week that I want to discuss. So I'm going to pull it over real quick. We got Tasha Steelz versus Danny Luna going on next week. We got Mike Santana versus Zachary Rentz going down next week. Masha Slamovich will be taking on Marty Bell, and a match that I'm really excited about is the Nemeth brothers taking on ABC. I'm excited for that match. I think the Nemeth brothers are going to work well together. They have never tag teamed before. They have never been in a tag team together, side by side. So this is their first time wrestling as a tag team. Super excited about that. And then we got ABC. We know what ABC can do. So the Nemeth brothers versus ABC is going to be something special next week. So you should be tuning in to this match. You really should be tuning in to TNA Impact every week. I just feel like that is necessary to move through life. But yeah, next week we got a stacked card. I just ran it down for you. So be seated for Impact next week. We have made it to the main event, Frankie Kazarian versus Nick Nemeth, and these guys put on an excellent match. This was a first time ever match between these two, and it was really good. Impact gave them some time to cook in this main event. They gave them around 20 minutes, and they utilized every minute they could to show off the best of TNA, and I think this was a fitting main event for the 20th anniversary of TNA Impact. Yes, this was a great match. No surprise, Nick Nemeth did win this match. He needs this momentum. He needs a lot of this momentum going into Against All Odds. He is teaming up with his brother to take on the System, Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, to the TNA World Tag Team Championship. So he needs a lot of this momentum heading into Against All Odds. So no surprise that he won this match. Frankie Kazarian continues to call himself the king of TNA, but I feel like the king of TNA is on a losing streak. So I don't know why he continues to call himself that. But yes, a solid match with Nick Nemeth winning. But you know, the ending of Impact, we have to have the System somewhat stand tall, right? So the System comes out, attacks Nick Nemeth. Ryan Nemeth comes out to save his brother. He gets beat down by the System. Joe Hendry comes out to save Ryan Nemeth and Nick Nemeth, and he gets beat down by the System. The Moose at this point comes out to beat down everybody and take out everybody, and they stand tall at the end of TNA Impact. But when we thought TNA Impact was over, a certain someone showed up, and his name is Broken Matt Hardy. We end TNA Impact with a video package of Broken Matt Hardy. He said that last week Moose tried to break a broken man, and you cannot break an already broken man. So he invites Moose, and not just Moose, but all of the System, to, guess what, the Hardy compound next week on TNA Impact. I am excited for the Hardy compound to return next week. This is going to be special. I ran down the match card for next week already, right? So we got a lot happening next week. And now we got the Hardy compound returning to TNA. You need to be watching. I say this every week. You need to be watching TNA, because TNA is where some of the best wrestlers wrestle in the world. And not only that, you have some top tier storylines. And I'm not trying to pun AEW where the best wrestle. I'm just saying TNA has some top tier talent. They have some top tier storylines. So you need to be watching TNA Impact each and every week. All right, y'all, we have come to the end of this week's edition of the TNA Impact review. I do want to remind you that next Friday, Against All Odds airs live at 8 p.m. on the TNA Plus app. We got a lot going down. We got Moose defending the TNA World Championship against Matt Hardy. Jordan Grace will be defending the TNA Knockouts World Championship in an open challenge. The tag team titles are on the line. The Nemeth brothers will be teaming up to take on Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. And we got some tag team action with Steve Macklin and Mike Santana teaming up to take on the Rascals. And the X Division Championship is on the line. We got Mustafa Ali defending against Trent Seven. That is the card so far for Against All Odds. So make sure you are watching Against All Odds next Friday. It's about 7 days away from this recording. So be seated for Against All Odds. Be seated for a lot that may happen with a WWE TNA crossover at Against All Odds. I just want to thank you again for joining in to this TNA Impact review. We will be back next Saturday with more talk about TNA Impact. I hope to see you in the next one.